Welcome back to the Becoming Podcast, episode 5. This is where we turn failure into power. And today you're gonna hear something you might not want to hear, but you need to hear, right? Today's video or today's episode is titled Stop Talking About Healing. That's Why You're Still Stuck. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I believe in healing. I believe there's always more inner work to do. Sometimes we just got to be quiet and we got to do the actions, right? Because sometimes we use healing as an escape, as a way to bypass the actual grounded physical work, right? A lot of people, guys, a lot of people say they want to heal, grow, and change, but many are still stuck, not because they don't know enough, but because they keep talking about healing without doing what healing actually requires, right? A lot of people want relief, but healing often requires discomfort, truth, and action. You can't, right? Like, I love this example by Eric Thomas, the number one motivational speaker in the world right now. He says it's like when you go and travel, you still have to go through the steps to get to your destination, right? You still have to get the plane ticket, hop on the plane, go through that time to get there, and have faith that you're gonna land at the same time, right? Like there's still steps that you have to take to make your dream, to make the things that you want happen, right? And it's like it's you gotta do both, bro. You gotta do the inner work and you gotta do the grounded work. And sometimes, and I'm guilty of this, right? Especially early on, like we're like, and it can also come off as learning. It's you're learning and you're learning and you're learning, and but you're not really getting anywhere. And you're spinning your wheels. And that's the thing, bro. Like there's a point in time where you gotta focus more on the actual steps, the how, right? What you need to do to get to where you want to go. And that's what we're going to be going into today. The thing is, like, knowing your problem is not the same as changing it, right? Anytime you can be aware of something, right? You can be aware that something is there, but what are you going to do about it, right? You can leave it there. You can push it to the side. You can just accept that's who you are, even though you don't like it, even though you know it comes from trauma, or you can do something about it, right? Because you can still be self-aware and be stuck. And that's the thing. Like you have to be willing to do the necessary work to change things, right? You can't just consume content every day and still not move. Like if you're listening to my podcast episodes, to this content and doing nothing, bro, there's something deeper there. Why? Right? Like the first video I ever came across from my first mentor was titled Why I Have No Friends. But the decision to even start, and I didn't even know it was personal development, like the decision to even watch something like that, because that wasn't me, bro. 10 years ago, that was not me. It came from a place of pain, a place of hurt, feeling so lost in life. And I lost all my friends. So that title fit perfectly to where I was at. But the decision came first. So if you haven't really decided enough is enough, bro, I'm fed up. I'm ready to get after it, bro. I'm ready to do what I got to do because I know there's more to me. If you haven't gotten to that point, right, where enough is enough, very little is going to change, man. I need you to tap into that pain, that part of you that can't stand another second living in the reality that they're in, because that's what's going to get you to move, right? We'll do more to move away from pain than what we'll get to, than we'll do to go towards pleasure. So then this is when real healing starts. And again, when truth actually turns into action, you have to learn though, right? There is a learning phase, but I'm telling you, bro, you can act while you're learning. I'm the kind of person that as soon as I learn something, I implement it literally either the same day or the next day. Like there's moments where I'll go through a course and I'll just, especially early on, as soon as I would learn it, I go right, open up my laptop or open up my phone and do exactly what that thing was, right? What that person said, or just do it right there and then. I like to learn and then act on it immediately. And I feel that that's for me, that works, man. That works because I don't really like to wait. I don't really like to wait, and it makes sense, like it makes sense to act on it immediately. But I want to share a personal story about a time where I gave up for about 3 weeks. This was after my personal training studio business came crashing down in a sense, and I had to break away from my business partner. And I was devastated because I didn't want to let it go. and I was doing everything I could to hold on and to make things work with my business partner. And it got so bad. He was, we were both getting passive aggressive and lashing out at each other, and just like it would get so bad to the point of we're screaming at each other. But he was also on all these medications, and I forgot the main hormone he was on, but it messed with him, and he was like bipolar, bro. And I'm over here, I'm like, and I'm getting traumatized, like I'm taking this abuse, and I'm taking three tablets of three caffeine tablets a day, which is 600 milligrams just to get through the day. Cause I was working 12, 15-hour days, 6, 7 days a week. And I was in it, bro. I was driving an hour a day. I was waking up at 2, 3 in the morning because I had my clients at 5:30. It was a lot. It was very taxing, but I didn't care. Right. And I gave it everything, right? And maybe my relate, like sometimes we feel like we fall short, or we feel like we gave it everything and still lost. And I love that quote too. Like that built a different kind of drive, a different kind of strength when you do that. It's very true. It's very true. But the thing is, I wasn't showing up the way I knew I could, right? And it wasn't because I didn't care. I was discouraged. I was drained. I was tired of being where I was tired of not being where I wanted to be, because it was a year and a half. And yeah, we had some success, but still wasn't like, bro, I wanted to have multiple studios. I wanted to be impacting thousands of people, but it just, like anything, it takes time too. It takes time too. But I realized that I did not just stop taking action. I ended up disconnecting from myself. It was for a period of time, like in these 3 weeks after the studio came to an end, after, I had a conversation with my business partner. I told him, "Hey, I'm done, dude. I can't do this anymore." That was horrible, man. I remember waking up after we talked the night before, and just anxious, just so, oh, man, just out of it. I felt so out of it. And also because of all the caffeine tablets I was taking. But that sorry, from I'm a little jumpy, but in those 3 weeks, I gave up. I said, "I'm done. I'm just gonna get a full-time job. This is what it is." I wasn't meant to be an entrepreneur. I failed. I'm a failure. I'm a loser. All these old emotions coming back in because that's what I felt. And that was a story that was playing in the background. Little did I know there was something more. There was something more. See, there's times like that where you have nothing left to give, and it still doesn't work. That's when you know there's something else, bro. It ain't for you. It ain't for you, right? So I ended up, I ended up doing a Tony Robbins challenge for 3 days, and that gave me momentum. And also, I was going through caffeine withdrawals. So I stopped taking caffeine, so I felt horrible. So even more, depression, anxiety, and stuff like that. But I ended up doing the Tony Robbins 3-day challenge. It was a free challenge at the time. See, I didn't do it because it magically I felt like it would magically change everything, but because it interrupted this pattern that I was in. Feeling sorry for myself, of beating myself up mentally, of judging myself because it didn't work out. And look, see, you knew deep down you couldn't do it, this and that, and all these things, man. But when I did that challenge, it got me moving again, and it got me deciding again, right? And it made me realize a couple things that actually turned into a process. I'm going to share this with you right now. But sometimes we need that, guys. Sometimes we just need a little boost from someone that can actually help us, that believes in us, someone that, that's why I believe in full immersion too, because I've attended a lot of Tony Robbins events, and man, damn, does that give you momentum, right? That's why I'm a big believer in challenges. I'm a believer in coaching, because the more time you have with someone, right, the right people, you can find yourself, you can find those pieces and reconnect to them just by being in that space, in that environment that you feel like you've lost. And you come back to yourself, you reconnect to yourself, because you put yourself in a position to start getting momentum again, right? You started to give yourself hope, give yourself faith again. And that's why it's like people, they whatever they say, it doesn't really matter, but your subconscious is going to get what you need out of it. But for a reason that you got to go learn from that person, or you want to go, right? Like this person has something to teach you. That's how I feel with the current coach that I have now, right? Like, there's something there. But going back to this 3-step healing process, guys, jot this down. This will help you right now, right? Name the real pattern. That's step one. You got to really see what's going on, right? Again, are you even aware of the pattern that's playing out in your life right now, right? Ask yourself, what do I keep doing that keeps me stuck? What is it, right? Is it procrastination, overthinking, just plain small? Are you avoiding being seen, right? You're afraid for people to see who you actually are because you're afraid to be yourself. Are you starting and stopping? That was my thing for a while. I would go ham and I would go and get momentum and then I would stop because, oh, it's not, I'm not where I think I should be yet. Oh, it should have happened faster, right? I would find, also exhaustion too, because I've been healing my adrenal glands for a couple years now. It's it's been hard. It's been hard. I'm like 80, 90% of my I have 80 or 90% of my energy because of what I did to myself years ago. And that exhaustion, that fatigue, it's like a legit reason, but also it was why I would start and stop too, and then the mental barriers and the limiting beliefs, and it always takes longer. I tell this to my clients, it always takes longer and more energy than you think it will to build something. So you got to stay in the game, bro. You got to stay in the game. And you cannot heal who you will not clearly name, right? So what is it, bro? Maybe it's a belief. I believe that was a failure, right? So if I got any success, that would completely contradict this belief, right? How can I be a success if deep down I believe I'm a failure? And this was the core thing, and everything else that happened were the symptoms, right? The self-sabotage, the drinking, all these things that I was doing to keep myself where I was at. Some people smoking, right? All these things that we do are symptoms of the core thing that's happening within us, that why we're really stopping ourselves. Fear of failure, not enough, right? Some people's relationships. It's sad, man. It's sad. I have uncles and aunts that will never remarry. They will never find a boyfriend, a girlfriend, because one person hurt them years ago, and they won't get help. They won't process what happened. And now it's crazy to say they're probably going to die alone. And I've tried to help them. I try to come in and just, share some of this stuff and do whatever I can for them. But people don't resist change, they resist being changed. So you could only do so much. That's the thing, right? Like, you're gonna die with this, bro. And I made a promise to myself when I really started on this personal development journey, that I don't care how much something hurts. I don't care how afraid I am. If there's something I need to heal, I will go fully into it. Because I'm not gonna die with this. And that's what, with that kind of, and I used to ask myself when I would like think about signing up for a retreat or a program or something, I would ask myself, is this going to help me grow? And if the answer was yes, I do it, right? I would do it. So that's a good question to lead your life from as well. But you gotta know what you're fighting, or you gotta know what's not even, not that word. You're not, you don't want to fight yourself, but you gotta know what's going on deep down and what's controlling you, right? What story is running in the background? Step two, find what it is protecting. That thing is protecting something within you. For my aunts and uncles, it's protecting them from ever feeling that pain of rejection, of abandonment, that pain of going through the divorce, all the emotions that they went through. You're there's a part of you, if you haven't heard about IFS, this is kind of what it's about. Internal family systems. There's a part of you that's trying to protect another party, more vulnerable part of you. And just you don't want to get hurt again. My aunts and uncles, they don't want to get hurt again. And the thing is, it's a nice suffering loop where they're actually, the pain that they're trying to avoid, they're actually reliving every day. And it goes for all of us in different ways, right? Like, it's step two, you got to find out what it is that part of you is protecting. Most patterns are protection, bro. They really are. Ask yourself, what am I trying not to feel? What pain am I trying to avoid? What feels unsafe about moving forward? Pause this podcast if you need to go deeper into these questions. You're going to get some clarity. A lot of the time, from the people that I've worked with, right? For my own inner work sessions with myself. And I mean, I'd sit down for an hour or two sometimes and take myself through my own processes, bro. Like, it, a lot of the time, it's the fear of failure, it's rejection, it's judgment, it's disappointment, shame, guilt. There's something that you're recreating in your life right now. There's people that are 70, 80 years old recreating stories and emotions that happened to them, that were stored and created when they were 12, they were 8. 20. You got to understand what's going on, bro. The more you understand yourself, the more you can actually start to go into it. Right. And then as you do this, it's going to directly affect how much work you do, how much action you take, because you're not going to let the disappointment stop you. You're not going to let the fear of failure stop you. The judgment. Oh, what if people judge me because I don't show up perfectly, or you got the imposter syndrome. A client that I worked with said he had this fear that people would just see him as a fraud, even though he's done so much already. Right? Like he's helped so many people, and with his fitness business, and it's crazy. Just, we're going to find any reason to make these beliefs true. Anything. I had another client that he felt he was too short to find a girlfriend, right? And I told him, like, brother, that to me, that's like saying, and I'm not invalidating you, that's like saying, because my pinky isn't long enough, I'm never gonna find a girl. Like it's just we find ways to validate the limiting stories, whatever it is, whatever core beliefs we have inside. Again, the symptoms. These stories are symptoms of what's really going on inside, man. So you got to know what you're protecting, right? Like sometimes also with disappointment, you feel like you've disappointed or let down your parents so much that you feel like anything you do, right? Because you're still trying to please them. I've been there, bro. It's a lose-lose situation, right? And maybe you've let yourself down a couple of times too. But that's the thing, like don't count the mistakes, bro. Don't count the mistakes. Don't count the cost. It's gonna take whatever it takes. Keep showing up. You keep having the heart, the courage to show up day after day, week after week. Be like, hey, I ain't stopping until I get what I want. Because you know the alternative, bro. You know the alternative, right? Like, don't let these beliefs win. You can change 'em. That's what we're doing right now. But last step I'll share is make one move, just one, that breaks the cycle, right? And you do that one thing, bro. It can be small, it can be big, like it's one thing. Healing becomes real when truth becomes action. Excuse me. Show yourself that you're serious about this new belief, about who you're becoming, bro. Lose weight. You know what? I'm going to start walking now 3 times a week, 1 time a week. Make it so easy for yourself. Don't make it hard, bro. Make it extremely easy for you to do. 10 minutes, 5 minutes, bro. Just get up and put on I'm not even exaggerating. Just get up and put on your workout gear. Sit in it if you have to. Baby, baby, baby steps, man. And if you're willing to do that, you're gonna start to break the cycle. I went to sleep drunk one night. I was 22, 10 years ago. I was partying. I was just, man, I was so lost, just doing silly stuff, bro. And I asked myself, is this gonna be the rest of my life? I just got back from a party. I was so fed up, man. I couldn't even look at myself. So lost. I was working at UPS, just exhausted. And I asked myself that. And in a intoxicated state, bro, I said no. I don't even know why. To this day, I don't even know why I said no. I mean, even yeah, the pain and all that, but bro, like I meant it. It's the thing, I meant it. Because I woke up the next morning but that night I decided as well, I'm gonna do one thing, just one thing every day to better myself. For me, it was going more into, again, I didn't even know at the time, personal development. Because the next day I came across a YouTube video titled Why I Have No Friends. And that became my first mentor. And I listened to him for years. I took his courses. I did coaching with him. I was in his memberships. Man, I was all in, bro. I remember I'd lock myself in my room for 3 to 4 hours one day because I was just so hungry to grow, to learn. I had a fire in me to no longer be who I was. I had to change, man. It's just crazy how everything around me kind of distanced itself and came crashing down. And it was the perfect environment for me to grow and for me to be with myself and to really get to know myself. That one decision of learning one new thing every day, that inspired action, that inspired belief, that inspired for me to see another version of me I didn't even know was there. Bro, I was drinking, I was partying every day. I was an alcoholic. I was recovering from a breakup at that time. My ex cheated on me at that time. I was broken. I was broke and I was broken. But it just goes to show the will. Like in those moments, man, the real you comes out. Backs against the wall when you burn the boat, when you have nothing left but to look in the mirror and say, hey, I'm gonna do something. I'm not just gonna accept this. I'm not just gonna tolerate what life throws at me and just let it do whatever it wants with me. Feel the same way, bro, about your life. Your life matters, your life's important, you're significant. Don't just let life do whatever it wants. I want you to ask yourself, man, what is one action I can take today that breaks this pattern? One thing. It could be learning one new thing a day, bro. Again, there's a time and place for this all. But if that's gonna get you to want to be better, to do better, right? To start going after your dream again, building that business again, do one thing. Maybe it's fitness, right? Go to the gym. Start walking. So for me, I love boxing, bro. I was doing boxing for some time, and to this day, I got my gloves. I go to the gym and hit the bag. Like you're creating a new identity. As we know, the one thing that we need to be consistent on, that we are consistent on, regardless, is who we are. You want to build a new identity. You're going to want new actions. Whatever comes first, new actions, new beliefs, new decisions. But you got to let in some new, right? Something new, bro. Or doing more again of what you know is leading you to who you want to become. You have to, bro. That's how you start to break the pattern. So again, what's one action you can take today that breaks this pattern? It could even be sending a message, right? Sending a message to someone. Hey, bro, I can't do this no more. There's stuff that's happened I can't let go of. Maybe you got to cut some ties. You got to speak up, right? Maybe it's posting a video, piece of content, expressing yourself, really being you on camera. Maybe it's making the offer, going there to pitch to that client. Maybe starting your first live workshop, whatever it is, like your first event. And out there, take the risk, dude. You have more to lose if you don't every time. Maybe again, going to the gym, having the hard conversation with someone. Maybe that someone is yourself. Had many hard conversations with myself, right? Maybe you just got to start again. Not late to the party, bro, right? You call yourself a late bloomer or whatever. Like, bro, if anything, I would consider myself that. Like, feeling like you're behind in life, feeling like everybody else has made it, but you were like, you're never going to figure it out. Like, well, you got to start again. You're not late. You're not late. Just, you don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know when things are going to click. You're going to meet the right people, the right circumstances. And all those years of suffering and all those years of pain, of mistakes, they're going to be your experience. They're going to be the experience that you use to finally get to where you want to go. Right. That's when the gratitude is going to, I mean, you can be grateful for it now too, but I think it's really going to click. You're going to have experience to back you up. Right. And again, all those failures, those mistakes, you're really going to utilize them. They're there. They're there for a reason, bro. And they can make or break your story every time. They can be the reason why you sign yourself off and say, you know what, it wasn't meant for me. Or it could be stepping stones. As cliche as that sounds, but I'll be damned if I lose against myself, bro. Like I've failed so many times, guys. Failed launches, failed workshops, like, but I've learned, and I'll be damned if I I don't utilize the last 8+ years of my journey, of my own healing and helping clients. I'll be damned if I don't do something with that and help more people, right? And help people wake up just like where I was when I was 22 and I came across my first mentor. Like just sharing this story, sharing my story. Thomas, number one motivational speaker in the world. I remember I came home one night after doing Uber Eats, just frustrated and just angry at the world. And it's like, or angry at myself because like, why haven't I figured it out yet? I'm exhausted from doing Uber Eats, this and that. And I remember I was on TikTok. Someone told me just hop on TikTok, and I saw his video every time as he was sharing his story of how he was homeless, he ate out of trash cans. Bro, he went through some hard times, right? Living in an abandoned building. I was crying, listening to this, just tearing up. Damn, did I know that pain? And this not I knew that pain in the sense of like what it felt to feel like nothing, to feel like, man, you try so hard and there's not much to show. And he was basically saying after he shared his story to keep going. I remember telling him I will, talking to myself, but you know, like it moved me, it inspired me, and I'm like, man, I'm just passing it on in many ways. He did for me, I'm just passing it on. My story, I have clients tell me it inspires them, makes them want to keep going. I'm like, good, bro. It ain't a waste, right? Like our stories, it ain't a waste. Maybe it's something you want to do too, right? Your story matters too, bro. Everything you went through matters too. But just want to finish today's episode with a couple things. I want you to know that there's nothing wrong with you. Right? You're not this broken person you think you are. You may be stuck, right? Maybe if you feel stuck in a pattern that has felt safer to keep than to change, your next level is not going to come from more information, right? It's not going to come from that. It's going to come from being brutally honest with yourself, having the courage to change, to do something different, and grounded action. If you can do that, you're going to start seeing momentum. You're going to start moving forward again. You're going to start healing again, like really healing. You're going to start changing, right? Making some real changes like you've been wanting to make. You're going to start to build momentum again more than anything. So, just a couple questions I'm going to leave you with, right? Ask yourself, what pattern do I need to interrupt right now? What do you need to interrupt right now that's going on? What truth have you been avoiding, right? Again, just kind of taking it back from the beginning of this podcast. What truth have you been avoiding? Really sit with it. Be honest, bro. Don't be afraid. There's nothing to fear. What is one move you can make today? Just one. You know the answer. Your gut's telling you. Your intuition is there. Listen to it, bro. Even tomorrow, like just line something up for yourself, right? I really hope this episode helped, guys. If it did, brought you value, please share it, like it, subscribe, show love. And this is where, again, this is the podcast for failures. People who feel like they are that and we turn failure into power, bro. We really do. I'm here to guide, to help you become who you were meant to be, create a reality that reflects your true potential. And if you want help one on one, there's a link down in my description. Book now, bro. Let's talk. Let's have a real one on one conversation. So I can help you. You can help yourself start changing the trajectory of your life. Again, you're not behind. You didn't miss your chance. There's just things that are going on internally that maybe you don't understand that you need help processing. I want to get you to the next level. I want to help you start getting momentum in your life again. Maybe it's serving, maybe it's sharing your gift, maybe you have something to offer. You keep starting and stopping, right? You keep stopping yourself. It's like, let me help you help yourself in many ways and finally start moving forward. Finally heal what's in the way. So you can start doing your mission, right? And go all in on what you actually love to do instead of staying where your old self is keeping you, right? Start doing some real work, bro. Start moving forward. Get what you want out of this life. All right. Until next time, thank you so much for joining me. Again, I'm your host, Rogelio Diaz, and I'll see you in the next episode.